Welcome to the new music show on your LDS radio at yldsr.com. I am your host, Cherie Call. Have you ever wondered if LDS religious music is ever made in genres other than light pop, classical, or folk? Well, wonder no more. My guest today is Mark Hansen, and you will learn that Mark Hansen can definitely be described as a rocker. Mark's joining us today by phone to talk about his new album. Welcome, Mark.
Hi.
So, Mark, you and I have crossed paths many times over the years, but I have to admit to you, I've never really known the full magnitude of what a rock sensation you are. This music is really something. So now I'll bet.
I guess that and a dime will get me a soda, right?
So,
by saying that, I mean I debate the sensation part, but
oh, okay.
I do try to be put out some good tunes and have a great time at it.
Yeah, I'll bet it's really something to see you and your band do these songs live. Do you perform a lot?
No? I wish I performed a lot more. I just don't have a lot of opportunity yet, but I'm working on that.
Sure, definitely. So, Mark, who are your influences as a songwriter and performer?
Oh, wow, there's a lot of them. Some of my biggest are Peter Gabriel. He kind of taught me the more the intricacies of subtle imagery and metaphor and stuff like that. And then Pete Townsend, who taught me to kick the door down. And frankly, even you and Sam have been some great inspirations as far as writing spiritually based music.
Wow, that means so much. Thank you. So going back to what I was talking about in the intro, it seems like you've been someone who's blogged about this and otherwise maybe lamented about the limited genres we normally associate with LDS music. Has that been a motivation to you to write rock songs about religious themes?
Kind of. Well, it all started way back in the day as I was in high school, and I loved good hard rock. I loved it loud. And the stuff that I was hearing out of the seminary albums they put out back in the day, and that was before the days of EFY. I know I'm showing how old I am. But it was all light, soft, what I considered fluffy stuff. And I just wanted to rock and make it good and strong. And over the years, what I've learned is that there are certain messages where the power of those messages I just don't think is conveyed without, a good, strong foundation of drums, bass, and guitar. I think that kind of power. And on this particular album, I think of a tune like Martyrs, where I wanted to write a big sounding anthem celebrating the lives of those who gave everything. And to me, to sing that with sweet strings and light piano just wouldn't have cut it.
The fires rise high on a moonless night, marked by shouts and cries of fright. The scriptures burning up in ash and smoke. As the drums scared believers in, two men think to stop them dim, but a still voice whispers no to let them go. 'Cause they stood up to the last. Their sorrows now are past. Their souls are rising fast. And I'll join with the choirs and I'll sing the martyrs home.
You mentioned Martyrs, and I want to talk about some other examples of exactly what you're talking about here, because you're definitely not messing around. So tell us the title of your album.
It's called The Third Time. It's kind of a play because it is the third album. And there's a title track. It's the third time, obviously. Back when I was growing up, there was kind of the running gag in the old cartoons where if somebody was drowning, they'd go down once, they'd go down twice, and when they went down for the third time, that was it. And so I started thinking about that, and I thought, okay, well, that's an interesting metaphor. If somebody's close, you better go rescue him.
Yeah.
And so I wrote that tune, and as I was thinking about it, I started thinking, I better start doing my own teaching.
What's going down is that he's gonna drown because he's going down for the third time. Throw him a line if you get there in time, for he slips through the brine for the third time. What's going down is that he's gonna drown because he's going down for the third time. Throw him a line if you get there in time, for he slips through the brine for the third time.
Another one of the songs, this song actually really made me smile. Tell me about Too Late Smart.
Oh, that one actually started out as a phrase my mom used to say all the time. Like you go through life and you have these moments of epiphany, right? And they often, unfortunately, seem to come. It's like that scripture that says, you get no witness until after the trial of your faith.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so they always seem to come after you needed to know that thing, right? And so she'd always say, well, too soon old, too late smart. And that stuck with me. And then a few years ago, I was really going through a tough time. And it just seemed like, if I'd just known all this stuff when I was a kid, I would have been able to avoid so much trouble. And so I then that's what Cotton was, it was too soon old and too late smart. And it's just all about the cluelessness of adult life,
I think many of us can relate, yes.
I think it's kind of ironic, though, that my mom, who does, of course, not like hard rock at all, inspired such a drive-in 80s rocker,
Does she like this song? Has she heard this song?
She's heard it. She kind of gets a smile out of the lyrics, but yeah, it's not something she's going to put on.
When I was a young man, not so long ago, I thought I had all the answers. It was all I need to know. My life it threw me changes, and it didn't leave me clues. Now I'm standing at the corner, I'm lost and sorry and confused. It seems I'm checking all the channels, but I just can't find the news. Like I can't get in the club, but I've been paying all the dues. I'm too soon old and too late smart. I'm too soon cold to play the part. I'm just too slow to be state of the art. I'm too soon old and too late smart.
So now, The Chapel sounds like a song that might really be personal. These sound like people that we all might know. Tell me about this song.
That's a kind of a funny story how I got that one written, too. I was driving home from work late one night, and this idea just kept coming to me. I'm sure you've had experiences like this. Mm-hmm. And I just started realizing I've got to write this down. And I had my cell phone, and I started just pulling over to the side of the road and jotting down these ideas in my cell phone. And finally I realized this is nonsense. I got to just pull off and write the song. And so I turned off. I was driving on Bangor Highway, and I pulled off on a side road and pulled into this little spot and sat there, and I wrote the first draft. And, of course, it's gone through a few revisions since then. But as I finished writing that first draft, I looked up, and I was sitting in the parking lot of a chapel.
Oh, wow.
So there's a little bit of poetic irony there.
Susan's been married just under a year. They like the pews up front so they can hear. She's had a rough time and her youth was unclear, and she's fighting to get past her mistakes and her fear. And with eyes that neither condemn nor condone, he loves her and raises her child as his own. In every city the chapel's the same, like the people that step up and ask me my name, and the words that they say and the feelings I've known. I guess that's why it feels like home. That's why it feels like home.
Well, Mark, tell us the best way to find your music and learn more about you.
The best way is just go to markhansenmusic.com. Mm-hmm. I've got, that's my blog there. The songs as I finish them are posted there. So even beyond just the 14 tracks that are the third time, you can get tracks that are, you know, I've been putting out songs since the 90s. Mm-hmm. I was kind of even on the forefront back in the days when MP3s were being debated in Congress. So I've been doing it for a long time, and many of those songs are still available on markhansenmusic.com.
Well, Mark, I really want to thank you for taking the time to talk today. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me come on.
I'd also like to thank our listeners for tuning in. We're going to end today by hearing another song by Mark Hansen called Wannabe. Join us again next week for more new music on your LDS radio at yldsr.com.
When I heard the story of how you fed the hungry crowd with some fishes and bread, or how the blind man opened his eyes to see, a little seed was planted down inside my heart. I could feel it growing and making a start. I knew someday it'd grow into a mighty tree. But for now